This sound
Train approaching. Please remain behind yellow line.
is one all Boston-based rail fans listen out for. We're in the Massachusetts suburb of Mansfield's brand new MBTA commuter rail station. Located on MBTA's bustling Providence line and, of course, the world-famous Amtrak Northeast Corridor, Mansfield is ripe with train activity. A quick glance at the brand new information boards tells us that there is a commuter rail train heading southbound, making its final approach into Mansfield. So let's set up our shot and get ready for the first train of the day. The MBTA commuter rail connects Boston suburbia to the central city with over 12 lines spanning north, south, east, and west. Operating in push-pull configuration with a locomotive on the head end and cab cars on the tail end, the commuter rail operates on an hourly basis all around eastern Massachusetts, ensuring that commuters have a safe, convenient, and efficient way to get to and from the central city of Boston. Here's something you won't find in the upstate of South Carolina: concrete railroad ties. Built to ensure smoother operations and swifter speeds, Amtrak installed these ties in the early 2000s to allow for the operations of America's very first high-speed train, the Acela Express.
Train approaching. Please remain behind yellow line.
Wow, that was gone in the blink of an eye. You certainly don't see trains going that fast in Greenville. My videography skills are tuned for freight trains, which operate around 60 miles per hour. This 150 mile per hour Acela blew my camera away. Still, just in case you don't believe me when I say these trains are fast, here's a video of me next to the Acela for context. Such incredible speeds can't be achieved by just train alone. Infrastructure such as these overhead catenary wires play an important part in helping the Acela function as America's premier high-speed train. With each catenary wire carrying over 2,000 volts respectively, Acela and Northeast Regional trains are able to zip up and down the Northeast Corridor, connecting some of America's most bustling cities. But what is that, I hear you say? They're more than just Acela trains zooming up and down this line? Well, after the launch of Acela, they proved to be so successful that a slew of regional trains, making more frequent stops at smaller cities along the line, were added to the schedule. Known as the Northeast Regional, these trains accompanied the Acela in bringing Amtrak's dominance over Northeast United States travel.
Welcome to BMOC 2022.
Mansfield is a proud city with a proud history, detailed eloquently on this beautiful mural. My favorite historical footnote: this city used to be home to the world's largest goose farm. Unfortunately, the geese are long since gone. The only thing that flies in Mansfield today are the trains. Unfortunately for me, this northbound commuter rail seems to be going at a leisurely pace as it pulls in for its station stop. those new station renovations must have spread quickly, because this is now one of the busiest stations on the Providence and Worcester line. Today's passengers are Boston bound, heading into the city for a day of shopping or leisure. However, come here on a Monday morning, you are sure to find the platform filled with suit-cladded business individuals eager to make money for their families. Another thing Mansfield has ample supplies of is rail fans. Due to the high speeds of the Amtrak trains and the frequency of the commuter rail trains, it has become its own little hotspot on the Providence line. The fresh coat of purple paint on this F40PH 3C glimmers distinctively in the afternoon sun as the locomotive confidently pushes its train towards Boston. This is the third round of life for these famed locomotives and hopefully not the last. Due to the high-speed trains, one can't simply cross the tracks at Mansfield. You have to duck under them. This detour affords us a view of another little infrastructure oddity. Two enormous steel beams located directly underneath the iron rail lines above, placed there almost certainly to help support the weight of pounding high-speed trains. Unfortunately for those who enjoy speed, however, we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer. Right now, we find ourselves thrust in the middle of the early afternoon commuter rush. And here comes a southbound, bound for Providence, Rhode Island. But before it can arrive there, it first must drop its brood off here at Mansfield Station. Yet another common Boston Railroad staple, unknown completely in the Greenville district, are cab cars. Featuring all the staples of a locomotive put on the back of a passenger car, these convenient devices allow for quick turnarounds at dead-end stations. Everything is included from horns to lights to even a bell to make engineers feel right at home. Boston-bound trains are led by cab cars here in Massachusetts. However, this train, heading southbound to Providence, is being confidently led by an HSP 46 series locomotive, a South Side staple. We will see more of these new engines later on. Ever wondered what those green lights on the side of passenger carriages mean? Well, they indicate to the engineer whether the brakes have been properly released or set. Red means your brakes are applied, and green, like this train, means you're good to go. My attentions are drawn away from our swiftly departing train by the boinging sounds of a quivering catenary. This indicates to us rail fans that there is a fast train swiftly approaching Mansfield.
Train approaching. Please remain behind yellow line.
Those 7 words are the most exciting thing to be heard here at Mansfield Station, as it means Northeast Regionals are right around the corner. Well, I can say without a doubt that was one of the most aggressive trains I've ever seen. Northeast Regionals lack the aerodynamic capabilities of Acellas. Therefore, when they go by, they really make some noise. To prove my point, here comes a southbound regional charging its way towards Providence. Notice just how much wind this Northeast Regional kicks up compared to its Acela counterpart as it pushes air violently out of its way.
Train approaching. Please remain behind yellow line. Train approaching. Please remain behind yellow line.
It's well into the afternoon here in Mansfield, and to break the hour-long lull between our last regional and this train is a cab car-led MBTA commuter rail heading north towards Boston. These are the fabled HSP-46 locomotives which swept up the MBTA mid-2014. They've now become one of the staple workhorses of this railroad, operating hundreds of trains each and every day. Paying homage to the Atlantic coastline, the MBTA's distinctive purple, gold, and dove gray paint scheme is one of my all-time favorites. They also make quite a ruckus whenever it's time to roll out of the station. An HSP-46 in all Hyundai Rotem double-decker cars, the workhorse of a modern commuter rail. This would be my last MBTA train for the day, but don't worry, we have one more surprise in store. This one final Acela will close out the day, bringing an end to our Boston-bound adventure. Filmed both in zoom and wide angles, I can't think of a better way to pay homage to one of America's finest trains. Happy rail fanning, and until our paths cross again.